Let's learn how to complete the square. As always, remember to download the corresponding PDF using the link in the description so you may follow along as I work through the problems. We don't have a specific formula for this, it's more of a procedure that I've summarized in these 8 steps. And we'll address each step as we go through the examples. Right now, we're just going to work through a few problems to learn the process, but understand that this procedure becomes incredibly important as you go deeper into your calculus courses. And I'll have videos demonstrating how you can use completing the square to solve antiderivative problems, to solve differential equations, etc. But for now, we're just going to learn this tool. Before we proceed, I want to make note of one thing. Steps 1 and 2 and step 8 are not necessarily going to be applicable to every single problem. You'll see what I mean as we go through these examples. So let's start with the first problem here. Step 1 says to write the quadratic in standard form, which just means decreasing powers of x. Our expression here is not in standard form, so let's rewrite it. X squared plus 6x plus 8. Decreasing powers of x. Now before we move on to step 2, I want you to think about the fact that this expression here is actually easily factorable. This factors into x plus 2, x plus 4. And that's great, but it's also completely irrelevant. You can complete the square regardless of whether or not the quadratic factors. They just have different applications, so they're not really related at all. So even though our problem here factors, it doesn't mean much for us. So let's move on to step 2. Factor out the coefficient of the x squared term from the first 2 terms. For our example, the coefficient of x squared is just 1, and it's really never necessary to factor out the 1. So step 2 is not really applicable to this problem. Step 3. Divide the x coefficient by 2. That's going to be this number here. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Step 4 says to put a box around that number, because we're going to use that later. Step 5 says to square the number from the previous step. 3 squared, 9. Step 6 says to add and subtract the number from the previous step to our expression. So we have x squared plus 6x, and then we're going to add and subtract 9. Plus 9 minus 9 plus 8. Now I want you to look at these 2 steps. These 2 expressions are identical. We haven't changed anything. Plus 9 minus 9 is equal to 0. It's the same expression as the previous line. We're just changing the way we're grouping the terms so that we can complete the square. Step 7 says to factor the first 3 terms using the boxed number. So if we did this procedure correctly, these 3 terms will factor perfectly. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't. This factors into x plus 3, x plus 3. And then we have minus 9 plus 8. And then we can simplify this a bit. X plus 3 can be written as x plus 3 squared. And then we'll group together these terms, minus 1. Now, if you didn't see that factorization from the previous step, that's okay. The number inside the box is always going to be the number that's inside the parentheses with the x. And we'll use that trick when the problems become a little bit more difficult to factor. Step 8, not necessary for this problem because there's nothing to distribute. This is our final answer. Let's try the next example. For step 1, this expression is already written in standard form, so there's nothing to do there. Step 2, factor out the coefficient of the x squared term. Really not necessary for us. That's a 1 again. So we'll go straight to step 3. Divide the x coefficient by 2. In this example, that's 7. 7 divided by 2 doesn't simplify, so we'll leave that as 7 over 2. Step 4, box the number from the previous step. Put a box around this. Step 5, square the number from the previous step. 7 over 2 squared is 49 over 4. Step 6, add and subtract that number from the previous step. So let's start rewriting our expression. X squared plus 7x plus 49 over 4 minus 49 over 4 minus 3. Step 7 is to factor these three terms. But looking at those terms, it's not immediately obvious to me how they factor, as it was in the previous example. Luckily, we have the number in the box to help us. As always, this will factor into x plus whatever number's in the box, in this case, 7 over 2, squared, minus 49 over 4, minus 3. And then we just need to simplify these two terms. Minus 49 over 4, minus 3. We'll get a common denominator here, 4 over 4. And we get minus 49 over 4, minus 12 over 4, which gives us minus 61 over 4. So let's write our final answer. X plus 7 over 2 squared minus 61 over 4. Step 8, distribute. There's nothing to distribute in this problem. This is our final answer. The numbers are a little more ugly in this example, but the steps are the same. Step 1, make sure the expression is written in standard form. Not necessary for us. It's already in decreasing powers of x. Step 2, factor out the coefficient of the x squared term. We do need to do that on this problem because we have a negative 1 attached to the x squared term. So let's factor that out. Negative x squared minus 8x plus 2. Step 3, divide the x coefficient by 2. That would be negative 8. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. Step 4, put a box around that. Step 5, square that number. Negative 4 squared is 16. Step 6, add and subtract. The only difference here is the adding and subtracting is going to happen inside the parentheses. So we're going to write negative x squared minus 8x plus 16 minus 16, and all of that is in the parentheses. Then we have the plus 2. Step 7 will be to factor these three terms, but again, that's going to happen inside the parentheses. Negative x, and then we use the number in the box, minus 4 squared minus 16, close parentheses, plus 2. And this will be the first example where we have to do step 8, distribute. So this negative will get distributed to this expression and this expression. Negative x minus 4 squared plus 16 plus 2. And then finally we simplify. Negative x minus 4 squared plus 18. That's our final answer. Now let's do a really messy one. Step 1 is not necessary. This quadratic is already in standard form. Step 2, factor out the coefficient of x squared. We do need to do that. So this will be 7 times x squared. And 7 doesn't factor nicely out of 9. The best we can say is minus 9 over 7 x plus 16. Step 3, divide this coefficient by 2. Negative 9 over 7 divided by 2 is negative 9 over 14. Step 4, put a box around that number. Step 5, square that number. Negative 9 over 14 squared is 81 over 196. Step 6, we're going to add and subtract that fraction inside the parentheses. 7 x squared minus 9 over 7 x plus 81 over 196 minus 81 over 196, close parentheses, plus 16. Like before, for step 7, these three terms should factor perfectly using the number in the box. So we'll write that as 7 times parentheses, x minus 9 over 14 squared minus 81 over 196, close parentheses, plus 16. And for step 8, we're going to distribute and simplify. The 7 will get distributed to this expression and to this term. 7 times x minus 9 over 14 squared minus 7 times 81 over 196 plus 16, which equals 7 times x minus 9 over 14 squared minus 567 over 196 plus 16. We'll simplify these fractions off to the side. Negative 567 over 196 reduces to negative 81 over 28, and we add that to 16. We'll get a common denominator here of 28. So multiply by 28 over 28, and we get 367 over 28. And we can write our final answer, 7 times x minus 9 over 14 squared plus 367 over 28. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more math tutorials. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments or join us on Discord. Links are in the description. See you next time. God bless.